Hello Stampers, this is super awesome stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wisconsin, USA. Thanks for purchasing my Origami Shirt Kits in the mail. In this video, I will show you how to score and finish assembling your kits. This one doesn't have an inside piece because I used it for part of the video. And then, I don't know where my inside piece went for that, but it's been, oh, here we go. It's been a weird assembly video prep time. This one is a bit confusing for me, and I hope that it is not confusing for you if you see the video and review the tutorial. Okay, so I've already scored your pattern paper for you in 3 scores to fit your mailing envelope. So this is just a review in case you are making more of these origami folds with your own pattern paper. So it is measured 6 inches by 10 inches. And then if you have a pattern paper, the direction is going away from you along the 6-inch side. So it's in portrait orientation this way. And then score it at 1.5 and 4.5, and then flip it and score it at 4 1/8. Now let's just verify that. Here I've got one that's directional. This is my pattern as we go through. Yep, we're gonna score it at 4 1/8. Now before we move the pattern paper away, this is where your scoring and folding will have to start. So orientate your paper to the left if it's a directional pattern with that 4 1/8 score on the 4 1/8 line. Now if you see from my yellow pattern, direction is going to the left. We're going to score it at 9 1/4 inches right here, and this is the collar. Okay, now let's flip this over. This is the outside pattern. This is the pattern of my shirt. Let's flip it over. We're going to do some pencil marking. Okay, so pencil mark at the 3-inch mark, and let's see if I can get the 3-inch mark off here. Should be right there. And then pencil mark, we could use this here if we wanted. We can use that. We just need to make a pencil mark at 1 1/4. And at 4 3/4. If you'd rather do it in a groove, just flip it around 1 1/4. And yep, I was off a tiny smudge, 4 3/4. All right, now you are going to grab your stylus. We're going to bone fold. So here's how not bone fold, we're going to score again. Here's how I score with the scoring tool. I put my stylus in a groove, the 4 1/8. In this case is where I have a marker. I line up my pencil mark in that 4 1/8 groove. And then I'm going to, hang on a second. Back here, I'm just holding that groove line there. 4 1/8 is right here. And we're going to move it up. Make sure I'm in the right one. And then we're going to press down. Same for this side. 4 1/8. Okay, now let's bring our sample back in, get this all orientated correctly. These are your sleeves. We're going to fold those back. Fold those back. And then we're going to fold this in. And fold this in. And grab your bone folder. And hopefully I've got the scores. I know it all depends on the stylus, but kind of work it so that, you know, your center papers, the paper meets in the center and doesn't overlap. And then just crisp up your creases. All right, so back, in, and fold back. All right, next we're gonna work on our collar. First, we're gonna flip this up. Keep the sleeves out. Flip this up on that 4 1/8 that I've already scored for you. Gotta find it. Okay, and crisp that up so it doesn't bounce back up on you. Okay, looking good, looking good. Now we're gonna work on that collar. Let's flip it this way. Collar is folded back. Collar is folded back. And bone fold. Now my yellow sample, I've played with it a little bit so I don't have to bone fold and do all that. All right, now the next thing is you're gonna have to work that collar to the points. So I recommend, I'm actually gonna flip it around. It's easier for me to work this way. I just use my bone folder, kind of break those fibers. That's what bone folders are made for, breaking fibers. Okay, now what you're working towards is the bottom points of the collar point to each other, or the inside points point to each other in the center, and then the outside points point to the bottom. Once you've got a good pointy system, go ahead and bone fold. You might want to move that out of the way. So I'm going to move it so the center points, I'm holding my thumb over it, kind of point to the center, bone fold all those layers down. Just like that. Okay, flip it around. Let's see where we're at. Can we tuck the bottom of the shirt in under our points? And I can. Woohoo, first time. But I've made a few of these, so I know how much pressure I need to add to get that to stick. Just like that. All right, now we're just gonna decorate them, which I might have to step away and get all my embellishments because I hadn't gotten this far in figuring out what was what. So we'll be back with some embellishments and the inside piece that we'll tuck inside. So here's how I decorated a few of these. Now pretty sure I mentioned I'm not offering the cute as can be pattern paper because I only had a few sheets, but if you get the cute as can be, it's really cute. I embellished the points with the strawberry slush and Pretty in Pink, are new and they coordinate with this pattern paper. Inside I stamped a big B from the Be My Valentine stamp set. And then these, I use the blooming phrases. So you tuck your shirt front underneath your points. I've been opening and closing these all day. I've got these strips of these purple embellishments. Oh, and I wanted to share that this is how I am shipping the embellishments to you so that they don't shift in the envelope. The envelope is a little bit thick and I didn't want them to shift and then have you have some postage due. So just gently pull these off of that adhesive, and then when you assemble your kit, you'll put your white over that adhesive. Okay. All right, so back to this one. I use the blooming phrases, that's new, with the hello there, and then 3 of these. They're supposed to be side view flowers, but if you put 3 together, they work pretty good for a big flower. And then this one looks like a Hawaiian shirt to me. I put the 3 little brushed brass butterflies up for some buttons. And those are not in the catalog, but they're an online exclusive. And then I did a thanks with the 3 flowers there. All right, so I hope that helps you decorate. Oh, and the yellow one, I'll do the strips of yellow embellishments. Now, your embellishments might be different than what I show you in the video. And then you also might get different pattern papers depending on what you purchased. All right, so I just grabbed a 1-inch strip of scrap paper, and I'll let you know that my tie length is about 3.5 inches. So using the grid paper is actually pretty easy to make the tie. There's the 3.5 mark. And then here is the 1/2 inch mark, so it's halfway between. And what you're going to do is take your ruler and I'm making a skinny tie here. Mark a line between the two. Oops, oh, hang on a second. Mark the line between the two. Oh, can I even do this on? There we go. Okay, and then we're gonna find the halfway point, and I'm just gonna eyeball those. So my tie might be a little bit longer. And then if you have long handled scissors, or long bladed scissors, it's the best thing, because then you can get straighter lines. And you can see I've got a pretty similar size. It gets a little skinny at the top. I can show you how to fix that. Cut it off there. And then whatever is left, you don't need a lot. You just need a smaller piece. So we're going to flip this over. This will be the side that's got all the pen marks, will be on the back side. You just flip it over and custom cut your knot. Attach it with some glue dots or some liquid glue. And that could be a tie on this card. All right, we'll stamp with you soon. Bye.